God, it's Friday. Hey there, Escolarians. What's up? Tam here, and this is CEU Friday Features.
Universidad Central.
CEU ka na, CEU ako.
For our second episode, we will get up close and personal with the owner herself of Pedal Cafe, which is a growing coffee business since 2017. But before we proceed, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Our featured Escolarian, besides being a successful entrepreneur, is also the manager of M&A Partnerships, which is the investment arm of ECA Partners. She is also an advocate of good causes and, of course, an Escolarian from the CEU Makati Accountancy and Management Department. Escolarians, let's welcome Amica Rain Avena. Hi, Amica!
Hi, Pam.
You look wonderful today. Yeah, you
Thank
really
you.
look
So do
stunning.
you.
How are you? How's the business going?
I'm really good. I'm doing good. Just excited to enter the holiday season, and I hope you're excited too.
Yes, I'm very excited to go onto the holiday season, but of course, I'm more excited to talk with you today. Now, for starters, Miss Amika, how about we get to know you in a more fun way? Are you ready po for this one?
Game. Let's do it.
Yes, you just have to choose po between this or that. So, okay? Ready na po ba tayo dyan? Okay pa. So, first question. ACADS or extracurricular activities?
ACADS.
ACADS, wow. Cold brew or espresso?
Espresso.
Wow, okay. Medyo matapag po yun. Next, books or movies?
Movies.
Wow, movies. Same po. Introvert or extrovert?
Extrovert.
Indoor or outdoor?
Outdoor.
Okay, you love adventures po ba, Miss Amika?
Yes, definitely.
Yes, that's so fun. Next po, do you love to plan ahead or you want everything spontaneous?
Plan ahead.
Very organized. Glass half full or glass half empty?
Glass half full.
Wow. Oh, grabe. Medyo nagulat po ako sa mga choices mo, but those were really interesting ones po. Now, let me start this conversation with how you've managed to be part of both worlds, entrepreneurship and the corporate world. What prompted you to say, Amika, you know what, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, but at the same time, work at a company?
I think it wasn't really a decision I had when I was in college. It came after graduation because as a fresh grad, and I hope you get to experience this also. You have a lot of opportunities ahead of you, and when you graduate, all you want to think of is what job do I apply, what company do I apply to, or what job am I gonna get? Especially in my field, it's business ad. So there's really a lot that I could do. And because of that, I said, I wanna be part of a company that will really help me grow as a person. And at the same time, a company that I know I will have an impact to. And at the same time, I also didn't want to abandon the thought and the desire to have my own business. And so when both opportunities came in, I immediately thought, there's no way I'm gonna let go one of them. I'm gonna try my best to take both and commit 100% in both worlds or in both opportunities.
Well, with that, Amika, how different are your roles in the company and in your business? And how do you manage that? Paano niyo po na-juggle yung responsibilities or your roles in both worlds?
Mm-hmm. It's quite different, but also very relatable to each other. Because I'd go first with my corporate job. So we're an executive search firm based in LA. So for starters, it's a night shift job because our directors, our US team are based in LA in Santa Monica. So we have to match their time, and so we're working on a night shift. And working with our CEOs who are also former management consultants in the biggest consulting firms in the US. I've had this privilege of just really learning firsthand from them. And so a lot of my experience in managing a team or managing or putting up a new process, building a new process, and building presentations, a lot of those experiences really came from my corporate job. While on the other hand, for Pedal Cafe, it's something that we started from scratch. So that's a different set of activities or a different set of experience and learnings that I accumulated and over the years. And so with Pedal Cafe, I'm able to do from like being a barista to being a delivery person, from being the dishwasher and cargador sometimes. So those are
Lahat talaga ba?
overall because you're really building your business.
Now, I'm just curious po, how different is it working with foreigners and with Filipinos naman? You know, the difference in culture. How do you make the most out of it, out of this difference po?
Because I think as Filipinos, we're very shy. We're very what do you call this? We're kind of scared to deliver feedback, especially when it's gonna hurt someone. But that's something that I learned from my company also, dealing with foreign colleagues,
Yes.
is that they're very open, and the feedback that they give you will most likely improve you and your career, will further you in your career path. So that's something that I saw. That was the main difference. There's no barrier. I'm not intimidated. Of course, when I was starting as an intern, I was like, shucks, you really have to speak English all the time because otherwise they won't understand you. But yeah, being open to feedback and delivering feedback is one of the main differences. And also, like being just ripped off from the mindset that they're superior over Filipinos.
Now, I would just like to know, what do you think is your biggest achievement as an entrepreneur and in your career as a professional?
In Pedal Cafe, that would be the launch of our franchising, because I'm now able to help others establish their own business, another source of income. And aside from that, we're able to provide jobs to other baristas and other like these baristas. They don't really have experience. Most of them are not graduates in college, so it's such a joy. It's such a fulfillment for me to be able to help them out. And sa corporate job naman, I think my biggest achievement I could consider would be being trusted to lead different projects. So right now, that's what, I think for the past few years, that's what we established as my focus. If there's like a certain project or a certain process that's new to the business, they know that they should be, or I'm the first person or one of the leaders that they want to put in that.
What are the values you learned kaya in college do you think helped you a lot in your professional career?
That's a great question. And I'm not exaggerating when I say we had to memorize the core values of CEU as a student leader back then.
Yes,
Right?
that's true.
So There were times when we were just like, give me a car value, and we're all prepared. But in reality, it wasn't just something that we had to memorize, but it's also something that we had to live by. And a few, maybe I'll give two values that I learned from CEU. One is caring for others, empowering them, and valuing them. That's something that I really learned from being a student leader. It's going back to the point that I mentioned before, where you're not just working hard for yourself, but also for a greater cause. And the next value that I always go back to is that being a lifelong learner, or just really having this mindset that wherever you are, what season you are in, there's so many things to learn from. And so with those two things being instilled in my heart as an Escolarian, I wouldn't say life is so much easier, but I'm at a place where when things go wrong, when things are difficult, it gives me so much hope.
That was really touching. Parang ako din po kinailangan ko yun right now.
Aw.
Kaya thank you so much for your wonderful advice, your wonderful story, and of course your inspiring words, Amica. So, you've already mentioned earlier that you didn't really plan on establishing a business agad, or joining a company right away after you graduated. So, if Amica is not being an entrepreneur or a professional, what are you doing right now?
I think I would either be a musician or a teacher.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? I
Yes.
think you would, kung musician po, pwede po ba akong mahingi ng sample?
I got so nervous. Buti
lang
na lang
po.
wala akong
Tingnan
guitar
niyo lang po.
here. Ano ba yung favorite ko? Okay. This one's from Everything Has Changed Because the Red Album has just been
Okay.
released.
Yes.
There's this favorite line. What's this nga?
Yes, just a line or two.
Sige.
Okay na yun.
Okay. The bridge part na lang. Okay.
Oh,
Na-conscious.
sure.
Nawala ata ako. Okay. Sige.
Sure. Sorry.
It's okay. Come back and tell me why I'm feeling like I missed you all this time. And leave me there tonight. Let me know that it's not all in my mind.
Now let's talk about Pedal Cafe. And I've read your featured article from preview.ph, and it says there that Pedal Cafe was established as a pop-up kiosk in 2017, and that it's actually a mobile car touring universities, hospitals, night markets around Manila. So, what's the story or inspiration behind Pedal Cafe?
Okay. Back then, I was so used to having 3-in-1 and also my business partner. 3-in-1, ganyan, Starbucks. But Starbucks was expensive that time for someone who would have an allowance of 200, 300 pesos a day. Mataas na yung 300. But kung bumili ka ng Starbucks noon, then half of your allowance on a daily basis would be spent on coffee, right? And to get to the Starbucks branches, you'd have to go to the mall. And so when we were starting, we were like, why didn't we have quality, affordable coffee within our reach when we were in college? And so when my business partner was in Europe that time, I think during college, he saw that there was this like table with a coffee machine and wheels in Europe who was serving hot coffee. And immediately he came into a conclusion that this is what we need in campuses, in hospitals, in events, and so on. And what he decided to do was to improve that. Why not just serve it? Because it's cold in Europe, right? So they were
Yes,
serving
yes.
hot coffee. But when you bring that to the Philippines, to Manila, you have to serve iced drinks. You have to serve frap, as called by Starbucks, blended drinks, and other products that would catch the attention of your customers. So that's where the mobile coffee cart came from. And I think coming from the perspective of a student looking for very affordable coffee that would get them through the day, because it really hits you different for coffee drinkers. I'm not sure if you're a coffee drinker.
I am pa.
Are you okay? Great. But
Yes.
right, it gives you certain energy, certain kick that when you start your day right and you drink your coffee, I can do anything I have to do today. But yeah, that's where it came from. And then later on, we realized when we were actually operating already, that's when we partnered also as a student leader with different organizations from the campuses. That's how we made our way into the market.
How did you manage to open your own business 6 months after graduating? I mean, the struggles of having to get funds and the courage to start po talaga. It's not really that easy. So, can you share to us what were the steps you took, or how did you manage to still push through with the business?
Yeah. So, let's break it down by different areas. For the financial part, we had to look for investors. So that's how we put up our own business. And it's not easy to put up a coffee shop because your equipment are so expensive. Like an espresso machine is really expensive. And then back then, our costs were higher than how they are right now, because when you bring a certain concept from a foreign country, like the mobile coffee cart, our suppliers it was also somehow their first time to build that cart, and so the costs were higher. So it was very expensive back then when we started. And so we had to pull in our resources together and pitch to our family, friends, and help establish the business. And then research definitely was really very important also to us. And for me, as I mentioned, I relied on 3-in-1 coffee during my college life. I would drink coffee when I had to accomplish a difficult task. So I wasn't really a coffee enthusiast back then, because I didn't have the budget for it, the liberty to spend my money on Starbucks or other coffee shops. So research was something that we really spent time on. So that's how we did it. We started small. We researched our competitors, our marketing strategy, our target market, our pricing, what else? The location, where is it gonna be, our business permits. Thankfully, that all happened in a span of 6 to 8 months. But it was really also a decision to take that first step to open and launch your business, even if you feel like 6 to 8 months is a very short time of preparation. That's because I'm not gonna lie, I felt that also when we were starting. Wait, are we ready? But when are you gonna be ever ready, right?
With that, I know how business owners really struggled during the pandemic and how it suddenly struck us out of nowhere. Just suddenly happened. So What were the struggles you faced during the pandemic, and what are the changes you've made to make sure that the business will still be profitable?
Mhm. We struggled a lot. I'm not gonna lie. Just like how big businesses closed during the pandemic, we really had our own fair of struggles. I think this was my turning point. So I said for a month we were just trying to figure out things. And in my corporate job, we switched to working from home during
Mm-mm.
that time. And while I was working from home for my corporate job, I realized that I can't just continue on with my life knowing, or with my work, with my corporate job, knowing that my business, our baristas, our franchisee is worried sick about what's gonna happen to them. Where are they going to get their budget for food, for their own needs? And so that's where I decided to try deliveries. And then after research and just, trying to really figure out what's gonna be next for you, we tried doing the bottled coffee. I sent
Mm-mm.
out a few bottles to my friends in in Ortigas and Parañaque. So I tried it out and see if it's gonna work out. Back then we were using glass bottles. And with the feedback I sent to my friends who were, very honest with me, because I really have to
Mm-mm.
figure this out, I was telling them.
Yes.
So I sent to them using Lala Move and Grab, and they said the taste did not change at all. Quality is really good. It's as if we bought it from the store. The only difference is we get to make more cups of coffee with it kasi
Mm, yes.
it doesn't have ice, and we have the experience of enjoying our coffee that's really good quality at home.
We are moving forward to the last part of this wonderful conversation that I have with you. And this time, I want to be personal. I want to know you
Okay.
more po. We want to know you more. So I'm wondering, what are the catalysts for all the things that you're doing? For example, your motivation, para kanino ka po ba bumabangon, what keeps you going, all those things.
Hmm. I had to take a deep breath
Take a deep
and
breath.
see and think about that. I think,
Sure po, take your time.
of course, one would be my family. I draw inspiration from them. My dad is a pastor. Um, my
Mm,
my sisters were homeschooled also, and now one of them are into the corporate world. I grew up with my grandparents, and so a lot of my support system really comes from my family. And as much as I can right now, I want to be able to help them out. I want them to experience traveling, just paying back and being able to bring them to places.
madami kang kinoconsider na bagay. Was there ever a pressure to achieve so much at a young age? And what advice or advices would you give to those who might feeling this somehow? And I for one, I'm feeling this right now.
If your main driver as a student leader and as an adult is pressure and wanting to achieve things for others and for yourself, it's not gonna work out well. I've experienced that. Like, I've allowed pressure to consume me, and because of that, I got tired. I was just like, I think in my third year as a um, business owner and a corporate um, employee, I felt like I've worked so much already. And I try to imagine how come like our parents worked for like 20 more years. and they're still even working right now. What's happening? I feel so bad already for, just working so hard at such a young age and all that, trying to achieve all these things. And one thing, maybe a couple of things that I noticed is that first is I didn't take my breaks seriously. Even lunch break, I was working. Even at night, while I'm lying in bed, my mind is that, okay, what am I supposed to do tomorrow? And another thing is that I didn't acknowledge my hard work. I was so caught up in the process of, just working, and then rewarding yourself at some point, and then working again and working for yourself, for your parents, for your family, or for whoever you're working for. It's all that. But at some point, I was too focused on that I forgot to acknowledge my achievements, like the small ones. That's where I'm coming from when I said that I really want to celebrate even the small wins, because if you're not gonna do that, then you're just gonna get tired on doing everything. And so I realized I wasn't really acknowledging my hard work, and I wasn't giving credit to myself. When people would try to say, "Oy, ang galing mo naman, you're able to do this and that," my initial response would be like, "No, ako lang to." Hindi, parang yung, "No, it's not me." I would probably say, "Oh, it's because, my parents raised me this way," or "It's my business partner's idea," or I had my group of organizers behind that a very successful event. And that took a toll on me at some point because I wasn't really giving myself credit. And so I think, in summary, don't allow pressure to consume you. Always find the greater purpose for what you're doing. It's not just to keep working. You're not part of an organization or a student council because you're tasked to work. It's not. Always go back to the greater purpose. Number 2 is take your breaks seriously. As a student, you have your Christmas breaks, you have your summer breaks. Make the most out of it. Don't spend your time planning for the next semester during your breaks. And during holidays, spend it with your family. Find something that would give you fulfillment outside academics, outside your job. And then lastly is celebrate small wins and give yourself credit for what you have accomplished.
This has been a very inspiring episode, and it's all thanks to you, Amica. Grabe. Thank you so much po.
Thank you.
This time, do you want to invite Escolarians to your future projects or where they could connect with you?
Yeah, sure. Of course, follow Pedal Cafe PH. We're on Instagram. Our website is pedal.cafe. And also, as we approach the holiday season, please visit jeepneystop.ph on Instagram. It's a fundraiser that I started with my best friend, which is aiming to provide Noche Buena packages to the jeepney drivers affected by the pandemic, specifically in Katipunan. So if you could follow Pedal Cafe PH and jeepneystop.ph, follow us. If you wanna follow me on social media as well, that's Amica Rain.
Thank you so much, Amica, for being with us today. I hope our Escolarians can have an extra idea for your holiday gifts through Pedal Cafe. Thank you, Amica.
Thank you, Pam. Bye.
Have a great day.
You too.
And that's a wrap. Do you have someone in mind that you want to be featured in our show? You can comment their name and what topic you want us to discuss with them, and we'll surely get on that. itutuloy natin ang kwentuhan sa ating podcast episode on Spotify. So be sure to check that out. See you in our next episode, Escolarians! Again, Pam here, and this is CEU Friday Feature.